Divorced Dad Diaries, day 35, and today I'll be taking you through the chocolate chip cookie recipe I've made the last couple of weeks. I've put all the ingredients here on screen so you can just screenshot them, and let's get into it. So first off, you're going to want to make sure that you take your butter out in advance so that it reaches room temperature before you get to this point. I've weighed mine out. It's still a bit cold, so I've just chopped it into some rough chunks. Gone and washed my hands and taken my rings off. Now I'm going to combine that with the half cup of sugar, and I'm just going to use my hands to mix that together in the hopes that the heat from my hands will help bring the butter up to temperature and get it all combined. However, if you've got an egg beater, you could probably just whip the absolute crap out of it. If you were doing white sugar cookies, beating it and creaming it and getting all the air into it will help with your rise, but we're using brown sugar, so who cares? Now, it was at this point that I realised that I hadn't preheated my oven, so make sure you do that, 190 degrees. If you've got a nice cookie sheet, use that. I don't have one. This is the improvised way of making cookies. So I'm just using my regular oven tray and putting some baking paper down. From there, we're going to use our one egg. We just want the egg yolk into the mix. I'm saving all my egg whites. I want to make something with them one day, which is why I'm emptying my egg whites into this cup. But once that's done, egg yolk into the mix, and then we just need to combine that. So at this point, I'm using my spatula because I don't want to get egg all over my hands. Next up is flour, 1 cup of flour. If you sieve this, it's going to give you a more consistent texture. I don't care. I'm not making these cookies for anyone else. They're just for me and the kids. And I'm going to put the rest of the dry ingredients in now too. So baking soda, that's what helps combine with the molasses and the brown sugar to give us that little bit of extra rise, as well as the baking powder, which also gives us a little bit of rise. And then from there, we're going to combine everything. So first off, I just like to fold everything in with a spatula, and once I've got that somewhat folded in, then I get my hands in there to work it. Now, we're not making bread or pizza. We don't have to stretch those gluten strands out. If you want it to be as crumbly as possible, work it as little bit as possible. That's what's going to get you that texture of a cookie that just sort of melts in your mouth, as opposed to a more chewy cookie. And at this point, I'm putting my chocolate chips in. I didn't put in a measurement, just put in as much as your heart tells you to put in. I use chocolate buttons because I like the big chocolate chunks in my cookie as opposed to like the little chocolate chips. Again, use whatever suits you. And once that's in there, I'm just going to go ahead and combine it all. At this point, all the hard yards are done, so go ahead and do a quick tidy. It's worth noting that all of this, from getting out the ingredients to eating a cookie, only took me about an hour, and my kitchen was clean afterwards. So now we're just going to scoop out some little balls and put them on a tray. I made about a dozen cookies. I couldn't remember whether I flattened them out last time, so I just left them as balls, and they came out more ball-like than cookie-like, so do with that information what you will. Straight into the oven, only for 10 minutes, and then once they come out of the oven, let them rest on the tray for a couple of minutes before moving them on to your wire rack, and that's it. Cookies are done. From there, you can either wait for them to cool down, or you can just mow into them like I do. Oh, that was a bit of fun to make. I even figured out how to do the text on screen like I'm some proper TikTok cooking person. Just real touch on the white sugar versus brown sugar thing. If you didn't know, the tiny bit of molasses that's present in brown sugar is acidic, slightly acidic. Meanwhile, baking soda is an alkaline. So when you combine them, it's like that experiment that you did as a kid with the vinegar and the baking soda and the volcano and it explodes. Yeah, just like that. So if they were white sugar cookies, you wouldn't have needed the baking soda, but that's the difference. As long as you know the science of baking, you can do whatever you want, I guess. Hell, it's food. It's your own food. Do whatever you want with it. I don't care. I'm not your real dad. And I'll catch you on the flip side.